Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today, we're going to be talking about a lot of horror movies today. This is a new series where I talk about underrated horror movies. Now, this is my opinion. I feel as these horror movies are very underrated. Now, before we get into the video, do expect It Chapter 2 Revisit coming very soon. I'm about to go watch it after this making of this video. You know what I mean? So, underrated horror movies. Trust me, I'm gonna make a part 2 to this. Trust me, I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to this. Mainly because there's so many great underrated horror films that I'm leaving out. This is my list. I want to know your list. Intentionally, I was just going to like a top 5, top 10. I was like, no. You know, there's too much here to talk about. There's too much to discuss. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it right now. You feel me? Smack that like button if you enjoy the channel. Let's get in this, shall we? So the first one, the most obvious underrated horror film, actually I just watched this one and actually just filmed a review for it. Black Christmas, the original Black Christmas. The original Black Christmas. This was probably the most underrated slasher of all time. All time. All time. Black Christmas started a lot of things. Yes, Halloween really created the slasher genre, but Black Christmas did a lot of stuff. Black Christmas had like these creepy phone calls in there and stuff like that was used in other horror films as inspiration. You got like POV shots, you got like a good mystery kind of going on at like the first part of the film. Black Christmas, the original Black Christmas, this film is very underrated. No one talks about it. Like, it surprises me. It like kind of mind boggles me. Like, people talk about the remake and people have so many problems with the remake. I haven't seen the remake in a hot minute. Uh, Going to be watching Black Christmas, the remake, probably Sunday or Saturday. Maybe, I don't know. But it's so mind-boggling to me as a horror fan. Okay, well, how about stop complaining about the remake and go show the original some love that it deserves. The original Black Christmas, it's a masterpiece. Love the original Black Christmas. Recommend you guys checking it out if you got time. The next underrated, now, before I go any further into the video, these aren't going to be necessarily just slashers. There's a good amount of slashers on the list for sure, but there's other films as well that are not slashers. But you get the point. Let's continue. Stage Fright. Stage Fright. This is another classic horror slasher that's very underrated. I actually did a review for Stage Fright. That review, go in the link of the description, go check out my Stage Fright review, because I really want to get people onto that film. No one talks about it, no one gives it any love. Stage Fright, very good slasher movie, a classic in my opinion. You know, you have these people that try to put on a play, and they're trapped in this building with this killer, and the killer was like this owl mask. It's just a simple slasher, but it does something that not a lot do, and it kind of has a certain edge and a certain flavor to it, and I love it. So, Stage Fright. The next horror film it's very underrated. This one is underrated in my opinion. Now, everyone talked and raved about this film when it first came out. No one talks about it now, and that is Hereditary. Hereditary is a masterpiece of horror. To me, it deserves Halloween status. Hereditary is very underrated. Hereditary has a very good story, and I will say it does mess with your head quite a bit, but Hereditary, love it start to finish. I just feel as it is underrated. That's my opinion. Everyone raved about it. I remember everyone raving about it like when it first came out, but now no one talks about it. Just, okay. And just Hereditary is a original ideal, and I love when original ideals come to horror. I just wish more people would give these original ideals some more love. So, yeah, Hereditary. The next one, now this is a big slasher that that I say everyone knows about. You recognize the mask, you know who it is, but this film don't get talked about. Scream. Scream. Yeah. I think Scream is underrated. I think Scream is a very underrated film. In general, this franchise is underrated. I can do a whole separate video on horror franchises that is underrated. Scream is very underrated. I will say it right now, it's underrated. No one talks about Scream. Scream is one of Wes Craven's masterpieces. Scream really did bring bring the slasher genre back to life. It put life back into horror. It put life back into the slasher genre, and no one really gives credit for I just don't get it. Like that, no one really gives Scream the credit that it deserves. I mean, think about this. It most likely, and probably for sure, if it wasn't for Scream, we wouldn't have all the slashers that are coming back now, or the 2003. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't have as many horror slashers that would have came back, because before Scream, in the 90s, horror was kind of dying, and it needed some new life, and Scream brought that. Love Scream, one of my favorite horror movies. I did a review and actually revisiting of Scream. Love the film. Recommend you guys checking it out. The next one is Town That Dreaded Sundown. Now, this is a underrated one. I'm talking about the remake, The Town That... I never seen the original. Probably should check that out, right? The remake, I haven't seen the remake in a while, but I remember big parts of the remake. Not like big parts, but you know what I mean. I remember like a good chunk of the remake, and I can say Town That Dreaded Sundown, another classic slasher that no one talks about. Like, everyone was like, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of like mind boggles me, like how people say, well, I want something new in this new in this genre, and there's so much that people haven't seen, and it's just maybe you should see something that kind of doesn't mean like doesn't pique your interest. Like, if something doesn't pique your interest, whether that because of the description or whatever of the film, watch it anyway. Watch it anyway. Town That Dreaded Sundown, another underrated slasher. Now, another underrated slasher that is not on the list, but it popped up in my head. Like I said, we'll be doing a part 2 to this as well. But a underrated movie that just popped in my head is Slumber Party Massacre. I actually did a review on a Slumber Party Massacre, the first one. Love this film. Slumber Party Massacre, it has that 80s cheesiness to it, yeah, but it has some very creative kills. The killer is a very good killer, very creative killer. The killer uses a drill. The way the killer moves and stalks the victims, you got cool POV shots. Just one of my favorite moments from Slumber Party Massacre is the pizza scene. Is the pizza scene where the pizza guy, comes and delivers the pizzas, and the pizza man don't have no eyes, and he falls into the pizza, and the girl still eats the pizza. It's a wild movie, but it's so much fun. It's so much entertainment value. You guys will not be disappointed with Slumber Party Massacre. Now, the other underrated slasher is Child's Play, the 1988 Child's Play. Yes, I feel as the original Child's Play is very underrated. I will stand by that and say that. The big reason why I feel as the original Child's Play is underrated, no one talks about it. Like, the original Child's Play, there's something special about that film. Like, no one can't deny that. There's something special about that film. It's what, like, for real, it's what brought the fear of dolls into people's minds. It's really what made the doll like horror genre, you know what I mean? Kind of like blow up. It made doll movies, like a doll killer movie, serious, and the animatronics still hold up. Chucky looks his best in this. Brad, for his first movie, he did a phenomenal job as Chucky. I just found that amazing. That, Brad, the voice of Chucky, really found his, niche in the first film. Like, he just fitted the character like a glove. I love Child's Play. The next underrated horror movie that no one talks about, and this one is a controversial one because it is a split one. People hate it, people love it, people hate it and love it. Halloween 6. I said it. Halloween 6 is underrated. Love me some Halloween 6. Love this film. Can't wait to do a revisiting of this next year. You guys know why if you know why I'm gonna be revisiting this franchise, you know why. You know why I'm gonna be revisiting Halloween next year. But regardless, back onto the topic of the video. Halloween 6 is very underrated. Like, George P. Wilbur did a good job in the role. Awesome mask, awesome story. It's just all around good. Yes, Halloween 6 has its flaws. I do think they overdo, this is why Michael kills. I think they overdo that too much, But Halloween 6, the kills are really good. The score is amazing. I keep saying I'm gonna do this. I'm actually gonna be ranking the Halloween scores. I keep saying I'm gonna do that, but guess what? I'm gonna save that video to next year. If you know why I'm gonna do it. So I can already say next year, you guys' Halloween video will be ranking the Halloween scores. That video will be up on Halloween. So, yeah, but yeah, Halloween 6. This is just a perfect film, start to finish. Love me some Halloween 6. I recommend you to. Here's the thing: if you hate Halloween 6, that's fine. That's dandy. But go and rewatch it for me because it's awesome. The next underrated horror movie, and that is going to be Psycho. You heard me correctly, Psycho. I feel like Psycho, a very underrated horror movie. Psycho is really a classic. It's really what, can't talk. Psycho is what opened the door. Psycho is what opened the door for Black Christmas, for Texas Chainsaw, for Halloween. It opened the door. Psycho, love this film. Actually, before I continue, I have a steelbook of Psycho. Actually gonna be reviewing this month or in January. Love Psycho. But yes, Psycho is a very underrated horror movie. People say, yeah, it's the greatest horror movie of all time. But have you watched it? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like one of those things where like Psycho's like one of the greatest horror movies, a masterpiece. Does it hold up? That's for another whole other topic. And it really can't be remade. The biggest reason why it can't be, remade because it's so short. That's one reason why it can't be remade. Because like it's so short. I know that's so random to say, but yeah. Psycho. The next underrated horror movie, almost said slasher, got slasher on the brain, but we're talking about all types of horror movies. Try not to make the video too long, so I may save these other ones for part 2. Don't know. Depends on how long I want a video to go. The next underrated horror movie is gonna be Candyman. Candyman is really a standout 90s slasher. Tony Todd does a phenomenal job in the role. Candyman has its own flavor. It didn't copy anything from the 90s horror movies. It was its own thing. It was its own thing on its own level. It had its own 2 legs, a creative killer, creative kills, very, very memorable score that no one talks about. Just the awesome film in general. And yeah, love me some Candyman. I can't wait for the remake. It's Candyman, underrated slasher. The next underrated slasher is gonna be Get Out. Get Out is another underrated slasher. See, I just want to say slasher for some reason, but anyway, Get Out, another underrated horror movie. Get Out is directed by Jordan Peele. Get Out, love this film. Actually, I do have it on Blu-ray. Right here, it's on Blu-ray. Got it right here. Yeah, Get Out. This is just a perfect film, start to finish. Really is. No one talks about this film that much. From me just talking about Get Out makes me want to watch it right now and it deals with so much. Like, I'm not gonna get into the movie because it is fairly easy to spoil. But Get Out, another underrated horror movie. The next underrated horror movie by Jordan Peele is Us. I love Us. And I do like the approach Jordan Peele took with Us. This was, like a straight psychological horror. With Us, I don't have Us on Blu-ray or DVD. Need to get that for my collection. But I love what Jordan Peele did with Us. Us kind of, still did like that, that dark, can't talk that dark horror element. Still did that with a slight dust of comedy in there. And that works. Love the film Us. The next underrated horror movie, a good way to end this video. We'll save the rest for part 2, and we'll add more onto the list. Obviously, I'm trying not to make this video too long, because I gotta edit it. I want to put clips of the films as like a cutaway, and I don't know how long. And I don't know if you guys like me talking, and I don't know if you guys like longer videos. So just trying to cut it short, you know what I mean? But the next underrated horror movie, it's a newer one, came out this June. Child's Play 2019. I said this is a good way to end off the video, and that is with Child's Play 2019 being underrated. You heard me. Like, you heard me. We talked about so many horror movies. We talked about Black Christmas. We talked about Hereditary, Stage Fright, Scream, Town That Dreaded Sundown. The best way to close off the video is with Child's Play 2019. I think Mark Hamill did a great job as Chucky. To me, Child's Play 2019, that's how you do a remake. That is how you do a remake. You keep the core characters. You keep basically what they are while just doing a whole new story and building from the ground up. That is how you do a remake. Love me some Child's Play 2019. So, yeah, these was underrated horror movies. Stay tuned to part 2. Part 2 is going to be coming soon. I'm not going to spread these out too far. Now, part 3 I actually will. But let's just go over some of these. Black Christmas, Stage Fright, Scream, Hereditary, Us, Town That Dreaded Sundown, Child's Play, Halloween 6, Psycho, Child's Play Remake, Scream, Get Out, Us, what are some other ones I say? Candyman, man, there's just so many. I probably stumbled upon some words, probably missed some things, but hey, if you enjoy the video, you love horror movies, and you love variety content, we got horror stuff, we got movie reviews, we got reactions, everything on the channel. And if you're a first time viewer, want to click that subscribe button, want to give me a big thumbs up, please share the channel, please give me a big thumbs up, all that great stuff. And let me know some of your underrated horror movies in the comments below. Really would love to know what are some of your guys' underrated horror movies. Until next time, I'm out of here.